have this really terrible habit. And I'm just going to be completely honest about it right up front. Because I am desperately hoping I am not the only one who does this. I get a text from a friend, someone I genuinely love, someone I actually want to talk to, and I'll look down at my phone, read their message, and think to myself, oh, I really want to give this a good response. I'm just going to reply a little later when I have the energy to sit down and actually text them back properly. And then I accidentally ghost them for 3 entire weeks. If you are cringing right now because you do the exact same thing, just take a deep breath. You are safe here. But let's be entirely honest for a second about what this actually feels like. Because it's not that I don't care. It's not that I'm secretly mad at them, or that I don't value the friendship. It's that in that specific moment, the mere act of typing out a life update feels like trying to push a giant boulder up a mountain. It always starts out so innocent, doesn't it? You get a text. Your phone vibrates on the counter. You see their name pop up on the lock screen. You smile, and you feel that genuine, warm pull of wanting to connect. But you're in the middle of a chaotic afternoon at work. Or maybe it's later in the evening. You're standing in your kitchen at 7 o'clock. The refrigerator door is wide open. The cold air is blowing on your tired face, and you are staring blankly at a jar of mustard trying to figure out what on earth you can scrape together for dinner. Your brain feels like a damp sponge that has been squeezed completely dry by the demands of the day. And in that exact moment of pure exhaustion, the inner monologue starts. You look at the text and think, I can't just send a one-word answer. I have to ask how their new job is going, and I need to update them on that stressful thing with my family. And I just don't have the emotional bandwidth to give this the thoughtful, sparkling reply it deserves right now. I'll just sit down and do it tonight when I'm cozy on the couch. But we all know how this story goes, right? Tonight becomes tomorrow morning. Tomorrow becomes next Tuesday. And suddenly, you're trapped in the absolute misery of the text-back guilt spiral. And here is the worst part. It starts to bleed into everything else you do. Every time you pick up your phone to check the weather, or set an alarm, or just mindlessly scroll to numb your brain for 10 minutes before bed, you see their name glaring back at you. It becomes this heavy, silent weight sitting right there in your pocket. It actually starts to ruin your downtime. Because instead of actually resting, you are actively carrying the mental weight of a conversation you aren't even having. There's this persistent, nagging voice in the back of your head whispering, you still haven't texted them back. What kind of friend are you? It is such a lonely, weirdly specific kind of guilt. I really want to know I'm not the only one doing this. If you've ever left a best friend on red for a week, just because you were too tired to type, would you please tell me about it in the comments? It would genuinely make me feel a lot less alone today. This whole cycle is incredibly confusing, isn't it? Because if we take a step back and really look at our lives, we are lonely. A lot of us are walking around with this quiet, hollow ache of isolation, just wishing we had more community. We crave connection so deeply, we genuinely miss our friends, and we really do want to know what's going on in their lives. You probably know the exact feeling. You're sitting on your couch at the end of the day, wrapped in a blanket, staring blankly at the television but not actually watching the show. And you think about how nice it would be to just laugh with someone who really knows you. But then, the exact thing we are craving literally buzzes in our pocket. You feel that physical vibration against your leg, or you hear that familiar little sound from across the room. You know exactly who it is. And what do? Instead of feeling excitement, you feel this weird, paralyzing drop in your stomach. We completely freeze. It makes absolutely no logical sense. But somewhere along the line, without even realizing we were doing it, we started treating our personal, loving relationships exactly like we treat our work emails. It's like we've accidentally categorized our favorite people into an administrative backlog. The text just sits there. It becomes a pending task on a to-do list that we keep pushing to tomorrow. You open your phone, and instead of seeing a lifeline to someone you love, your brain registers it as a chore. And let's be entirely honest for a second. That makes you feel like a terrible person, because you know they don't deserve to be treated like a chore. And then, the mental math begins. This is where it gets really exhausting. You look at the timestamp. It's been 24 hours. Then it's been 4 days. and your brain starts running a script. You tell yourself, well, I can't just send a quick "hey, thinking of you" anymore. That's rude now. Now it has been way too long. Now I have to draft a beautifully worded 3-paragraph apology. I have to explain exactly why I was so horribly busy, chronologically list everything that has happened to me since Tuesday, and give a major life update just to justify my absence. You even start negotiating with yourself in the shower. You think, okay, if I text her on Friday afternoon, I can just blame it on a crazy work week. But wait, if I text on Friday, she might want to hang out this weekend, and I am way too tired to leave the house. Okay, I'll text her on Sunday night. Sunday night is safe. You spend more mental energy strategizing about the text than it would actually take to just write it. The longer you wait, the heavier the text gets. What started out as a completely harmless, sweet little message transforms into this terrifying, shadowy mental mountain in the middle of your living room. You just keep tiptoeing around it. Every single time you pick up your phone to do something completely unrelated, like checking your bank account or setting a morning alarm, you see their name. You see that unread notification, and every single time, you get that awful, cold, little zap of guilt right in the center of your chest. It physically tightens. It even bleeds into the rest of your day. You realize you can't post anything online, because if you post a picture of your dog, they'll see it and know you had time for the internet, but not for them. So you just retreat entirely. You hold yourself hostage in your own life, walking around the mountain, desperately hoping it will somehow just resolve itself without you having to do anything at all. If you are nodding along right now, if you are staring at your screen, feeling a little bit exposed, I want you to do something for me. Please, just take a massive, deep breath. Notice if you are clenching your jaw, and just let your shoulders drop away from your ears for a second. I need you to let yourself off the hook. You are not a bad friend. You are not a cold, uncaring person who takes people for granted. There is a very real, very human, and heavily researched psychological reason we do this to ourselves. Let's talk about what's actually happening in that beautiful, overtired brain of yours. In psychology, there is a concept called the Zeigarnik effect. All it really means is that our human brains are practically hardwired to remember unfinished tasks way more clearly than the things we've already completed. Think about how your laptop acts when you have 42 different internet tabs open at the same time. You know that loud, struggling, whirring sound the cooling fan makes because the hard drive is working so incredibly hard just to keep everything running? That is your brain on unread messages. When you look at that text and tell yourself, oh, I need to reply to Sarah later, your brain literally opens a background tab and it doesn't close it. It just stays open in the background of your consciousness. While you're making your morning coffee, while you're gripping the steering wheel in rush hour traffic, while you're trying to read a book, that tab is quietly refreshing, quietly draining your mental battery all week long. Now, combine that constantly draining battery with something called avoidance coping. Let's just be entirely honest for a second about what our day-to-day lives look like. Being an adult is inherently exhausting. We are already so burned out from navigating work, paying rising bills, maintaining our homes, and just carrying the general heavy weight of existence. By the time evening rolls around, your physical body might be sitting still on the sofa, but your nervous system is completely fried. When we are walking around in that state of chronic, quiet depletion, our brains go into protective survival mode. They actively try to shield us from absolutely anything that requires extra emotional energy. You know that feeling when you look at a single dirty pan in the sink and think, I physically cannot scrub that right now? Your brain is doing the exact same thing with your personal text messages. And this is where the heartbreak of it really happens. Because we love our friends. We really do. And because we care about them so much, we hold ourselves to this idealized standard. We think, Sarah does the 100% energetic, deeply thoughtful, highly articulate version of me. But you sit there, feeling that heavy ache behind your eyes, realizing you only have about 10% battery left to give. The the slightly embarrassing inner monologue kicks in and says, I am too messy, too tired, and too boring right now to be a good friend. If I can't give her a perfect response, I just shouldn't give her anything right now. I'll wait until I miraculously feel totally refreshed. So, we avoid the text entirely. We are literally avoiding the people we love the most, precisely because we care about them so deeply and feel like we can't give them our absolute best. But here is the cruelest irony of that entire process. That avoidance doesn't actually buy us peace. It just builds a massive wall of guilt. You lie awake at night, staring up at the dark ceiling, feeling terrible about ignoring someone you love. And that intense guilt? It just drains even more of the exact same energy we didn't have in the first place, keeping us trapped in the exact same cycle. So, what do we actually do about this? Because if you go online and look for conventional advice, you will hear the exact same things over and over. You'll find all these rigid productivity gurus telling you to just communicate better, or to block out a dedicated 30-minute window on your Sunday calendar to sit at your desk, drink a green juice, and meticulously clear out your personal text inbox. Let's be completely honest for a second. How does that actually sound to you? To me, that just sounds like handing myself another clipboard, putting on a uniform, and adding more chores to a weekly list that is already suffocating me. Friendship should never, ever feel like an administrative duty. It shouldn't be this high-stakes, exhausting performance where you have to mentally clock in just to participate in it. You know that stiff, fake smiling energy you have to put on during a terrible Tuesday afternoon meeting? When your eyes are burning from looking at a screen, you are absolutely dead inside. But you still have to nod and look engaged? We are accidentally bringing that exact same rigid corporate energy into our most intimate relationships. You sit there on the edge of your bed holding your phone, thinking, I need to sound upbeat. I need to ask the right follow-up questions. I need to prove I have my life completely together. I want to offer a much kinder way to look at this, a way that actually lets you drop your shoulders and breathe for a second. We need to completely embrace the absolute profound beauty of low-effort maintenance. We need to give ourselves and our friends radical permission to just show up at 10%. What if we just collectively agreed that we don't always have to be sparkling and at full capacity to be worthy of keeping our friends? A friendship is perfectly wonderfully healthy if you just happen to see a wildly chaotic, out-of-context meme about a raccoon eating a piece of pizza in a dumpster, and you send it to your best friend at 2 in the afternoon without a single word of explanation. The message isn't the raccoon. The message is, I saw this, and I thought of you, and I wanted to make you smile. That is enough. It is a deeply loving, completely valid form of human connection to just pick up your phone, type out a message, and say, hey, my brain is absolute mush right now. I am way too tired to form actual grammatically correct sentences today. But I love you, and I am thinking of you. Imagine receiving that exact text from someone you love. You wouldn't be angry with them. You would just be so incredibly relieved that they checked in, and you would probably relate entirely to how tired they are. Think about the ripple effect of how that small mental shift changes everything else in your day. When you take away the heavy pressure to perform, that tight, awful guilt sitting right behind your ribs just quietly evaporates. You stop looking at your phone with a sense of dread. You stop awkwardly avoiding your friends' social media posts just in case they see your name on the viewer list. Your phone stops being a source of endless anxiety and goes back to being a tool for actual connection. It goes back to being a way to just reach out in the dark and remind someone that they are loved. If you are listening to this and realizing how hard you have been on yourself, please hear this. Your true friends love you. They do not just love the polished, perfectly put together, fully rested version of you. They love the real, exhausted, currently wearing sweatpants version of you, too. And I can promise you, they would so much rather have your messy, tired 10% right now, today, than wait 3 excruciatingly silent weeks for a highly polished, heavily edited apology essay. You do not have to fix this perfectly. I know exactly where your brain might be going right now, because mine does the exact same thing. You hear a concept like the Zeigarnik effect. You realize exactly what you've been doing for the last 3 years, and your immediate instinct is to harshly overcorrect. You start thinking, okay, starting tomorrow, I am going to become a totally different person. I am going to wake up at 6 in the morning, drink lemon water, and reply to every single message the literal second it comes in. I am going to build an entirely new, flawless time management routine just for my personal life. But let's be entirely honest for a second. You don't need another rigid system to fail at. You don't need to turn yourself into a highly optimized text messaging robot. You just need to gently, quietly, lower the bar for what counts as being a good friend. If there is someone in your life right now, someone whose name is sitting unread in your messages, someone you have been putting off texting back because it just feels like way too much work, I want you to take all the pressure off yourself, right in this exact second. You don't have to write the essay. You don't have to explain the last 3 weeks. I want you to just pick up your phone, open that thread, and send them a single red heart emoji. Or go find a ridiculous 30-second video of a dog falling off a couch and just hit send. Do not even add a caption. Or better yet, hold down that little microphone button on the side of your keyboard. Just sit right where you are, in your car or on your bed. Take a massive, heavy, exhausted sigh right into the receiver and say, I am so sorry I've been quiet. My brain is completely fried, but I miss you so much. And then let go of the button. Send the 5-second voice note. Think about the immediate physical relief of doing that. You know that tight, coiled spring feeling sitting right at the base of your neck? The one you've been carrying around all week? The absolute second you hit send on that messy, imperfect message, that spring finally releases. The background tab in your brain suddenly closes. The loud cooling fan in your mind just turns off. And the beautiful ripple effect of that tiny action changes the entire rest of your night. You can actually sit down and eat your dinner without that nagging voice in your head telling you that you are a bad person. You can finally close your eyes and go to sleep without the heavy, phantom guilt of a conversation you were avoiding. You get your peace back, simply because you allowed yourself to be human instead of trying to be perfect. Please hear me when I say this. You are carrying so much right now. You are doing the absolute best you can with the limited, fragile energy you have left at the end of the day. And I promise you, that is enough. You are enough, exactly as you are, at 10% capacity. We are all just out here trying to figure this out as we go. None of us have a perfectly clean inbox or a flawlessly balanced life. If you want to keep navigating the weird, quiet, often lonely struggles of being an adult together, I would absolutely love it if you subscribe to the channel. We can just take it one day at a time here, with zero pressure and zero judgment. Take such good care of yourselves this week. Send that low-effort message to your best friend today, and I will see you in the next one.